the sure sign of a good time. The just right taste of Bud Light. Here we go.
Coach, how was in the third quarter when the score was tied 6-6 and you had 4th and 1?
At the 50?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Decided punting, can you go through your thought process?
Yeah, I decided to punt it. Thought it was the right thing to do.
Coach, a positive today and positive throughout the entire season has been the play of Chris Long.
Yeah.
What can you say about his effort during the entire season?
That I haven't said already? I appreciate bringing that up, though, because Chris Long is a warrior and is emerging as one of our strongest leaders. That's probably the two highest compliments I can pay to him. He is battling through an ankle injury. You know, that it's one of those that's not getting better every week, and he wants to be out there practicing. He told me the other day, Coach, I want to go out there with my guys. And I said, well, look, we want to be smart and trust in the trainers and get you to the game, and he's been a bright spot for us.
Did Kellen, given the fact he's had 5 practices, was he equipped at all? They did look like a lot of blitzing on 3rd down. Or was he equipped much to check out or out of that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Did not have time to get that in?
I'm not sure exactly. In some of the things when we get blitzed, there's a route adjustment.
And he'd been here enough to do that?
Yeah. No, there wasn't anything that we limited there. It wasn't like we said, hey, if that happens, let's pack it in and we can't do anything. And there were a couple checks he made in there. I mean, one, he checked us from a pass to a run, and I know we had a run play, and he checked to pass. He was doing checking all day long. And so we haven't had to limit ourselves that way. Very sharp football player. He's a pro.
Third down conversion turn, I think you were 0 for 8 in 3 quarters.
Is that right, offensively? Yeah, hard to move the ball when you're not converting on 3rd down, and, you know, I don't know what the distance on all of them were, Jim, but some of that can go back to not being effective on 1st and 2nd down. But, you know, and yet I thought early in the game we're kind of moving the ball pretty good there. Steven had some runs, and, you know, and then it just seems to be one play here or there that you kind of stub, and then the series is over. And, you know, it's hard. We haven't been able to generate those explosive plays, and that's kind of been the story a lot. And, you know, for whatever reason, they're taking away certain weapons, and they defended a certain way, and we got to try to manufacture some points, working our way down the field. It's hard to be perfect for however number of plays, but one thing you got to do is convert on 3rd down.
There were some 3rd downs, like third long, and you ran it, 3rd and short, you pass it. Have you been adding those options to play calling this season?
Yeah, absolutely. What else?
You mentioned that 4th down in midfield. I know you said you decided to punt. That was a football thing to do, but was that ever come in your mind, hey, you know,
No, I don't think you can operate a game. I talk to the team all the time. This is a football game. I think that would be not very smart to let decisions be made based on that. We're trying to win a football game. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it was either 6-6 or 6-3. Anybody remember? 6-6. Ball's on the 50-yard line. Our defense is playing pretty good defense. And, you know, there's 2 things that can happen. Now, we'll never know what would have happened if we had gone for it. We'll never know. None of us in here know. You know, if we'd gone for it and got it, amen, that'd be beautiful. If I had a crystal ball and knew that was going to happen, I definitely would have went for it. But I still think it was the right thing to do.
You had really only 2 corners that were usable in the scrimmage. I mean, did you have to use extra safeties?
Oh, yeah. Well, if you look at the nickel dime, whatever you want to call it, defense, it's 4 safeties and 2 corners. We never have, I don't believe at all today that we went to a 3-corner sub defense, and that's difficult. You know, you're covering a slot receiver with a safety. It's Craig Dahl's battling his butt off in there, and sometimes Darian Stewart's over there. And those safeties now, I'll tell you what, those 4 safeties, a bunch of tough guys and they have to learn a lot. There's been a lot of education for guys playing nickel that hadn't played nickel, and Will in the sub defense that hadn't played Will, and I think they've done a really good job.
I know this is a win-loss bottom line business. What do you take from the way your defense continues to just stay in there, even though the margin for error is so slim?
That's a good way to put it, Brian, because you're 100% right on 2 accounts there that the margin is, you know, because it's hard for us to manufacture points right now. And yet, I just think it says the character of the coaches, the players, that they take a lot of pride in playing defense. They function a certain way. The up front guys, to me, are amazing. The way James Laurinaitis operates the whole thing, and they never stop battling. It doesn't matter what the score is, and I do think that that is the nature of defense. You're up by 3, you're down by 3. You play defense the exact same way. You know, get the ball back to the offense. I mean, every single time. And I agree 100%, Brian, that my hat goes off to the way the defensive guys and coaches have operated through a really difficult time.
You can answer about the punt coverage is one after.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure Donnie will tell you the same thing. We're trying to kick it out. It kind of gets on the numbers there a little bit. But having said that, it is out there where we want it. We don't want it down the middle. It's hard to get it out every single time. But, and without looking at it again, Jim, I don't know where the breakdown was. But somehow, some way, somebody's got to stop the ball first. That's what you do. I saw it from where I was standing. There was a little crease there. And you give that guy a crease, that's what happens. And then you just got to find a way to get him on the ground. They're all designed to do that, or at least in what we call the outside collar out there, because then you can pin them in. So it's not just Donnie's job. He does. He got one out there at the end, and he's trying to do that. Now, here's the fine line. He tried to do that too aggressively, you get a 20-yard punt. I mean, we all know that. And so we're telling him to get it out there as deep as you can, and if not, it's got to be packed in there. And then it is the responsibility of the other 10. Because he's into this. He's not down the middle. He's in, and there's only a quarter of the field that he's using. Somebody's got to find a way to get him on the ground.
A couple more guys, knowing Coach won't be available tomorrow, so a couple more.
Yeah, fire away. And I hope, hope you're all okay. Tomorrow's a grind now with the quick turnaround, so I'd be happy to stay here as long as you need me.
You do the, is tomorrow after the game?
Yeah, it was a grind last week, the same thing, and we kind of adjusted the schedule a little bit. And I'd like to dig right into Pittsburgh, to be quite honest with you, once we put this to bed in the morning.
Do you have any other alternative in managing this game because of the slim margin for error, other than the way it's been going, which is just trying to play situational, and hope the dam doesn't break? Yeah,
I'm not thinking about the dam break. And I will say this, Brian, that the conversations are always, what about this? I want to be careful what I say. We got 2 more games to play. But there's a lot in there that is designed to do some other things, yet we got to look, are they there? They're not there. So you don't want to go up against the wall and then turn around and have it, go the other way. But, I was really thought to play, we pitched it back to Kellen. We practiced that all week, thought that was going to be a big one for us. We got some other couple things that we're trying to generate some offense and generate some field position and ultimately generate some points. We're not trying to play anything close to the vest. Everything is tried to be called aggressively. Defensively, certainly we're trying to get the ball back to the offense, and even special teams wise. I mean, I give you an example. We've gone for quite a few blocks, and got the one today. So that's in there, Brian. Sometimes what they put out there or present eliminates us from actually doing certain things.
Coach, your first season was tough. You guys were rebuilding your first year. Is this kind of losing the different this year, being that there was maybe some more expectations coming in?
But the honest answer to that is probably yeah, because it's hard when the expectations. But I do believe that there's still a building here. I do, and I know, and in the situation we're in right now, it's continued to build. That's never going to stop, in my opinion. We know that the goals, objectives that we set out for this year are no longer attainable, other than celebrate an NFL win in the locker room. And we got 2 more chances to do that, and that still means a great deal to me and to the guys. Aside from that, the mindset will be, in some ways, to continue to build and do the right things to build. We owe that to the organization. I owe that to the organization. I owe it to the players. And I know they're doing that, and I appreciate the efforts. I tell you, again, so proud. I was in the middle of the game, standing there in the 3rd quarter saying, I'm so proud of this football team. And then probably shouldn't have said that. I might have jinxed myself, because then there was the 5-minute swing there where I was a little bit disappointed. And I said that to the team. So I'm not telling you anything I haven't expressed to them. And yet, there's a never say die in a fight in this football team, and God bless him for that.
Jim has agreed to pay the fine, so go back over to
The officials, officiating. You can go ahead and fire away, Brian, if you want.
did you feel like it was,
Which one?
well, basically everything?
Yeah, I know.
It seemed like they just kind
Yeah. I tell you, the only thing I can tell you is, because I was frustrated, and I'm being careful not to pass judgment. However, I did ask the referee to please try and call it both ways. If it's going to be called and we're going to protect, let's protect everybody. You know, let's call it, and that's all you can really ask of any officiating crew, is to just be consistent. Now, I'm not saying whether it was or wasn't. I'm just saying that's all I asked. That was the only thing that I said, is if we could try to be very consistent.
If the microphone wasn't on, would Harvey have gotten flagged?
I don't know that. What you guys are saying, and I might have missed this, that Harvey said something while the microphone was on, and
He expressed himself well.
okay. I don't know that. I'd have to ask the. Yeah, I have to ask the referee. I don't know. But I know this. And then Harvey and I talked about it. It does no good anyway to voice your opinion to an official after the call's been made. I don't know that I've ever seen any player talk an official out of throwing a flag. So.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you all.